I am making candy corn fudge. I have put 1 can of sweetened condensed milk and 16 ounces of my white chocolate discs or almond bark. Either one is fine. I'm going to put this in the microwave and melt it. All right, you want to stir in between each 30-second increment of microwaving it. Now, if your bowl is super hot, don't microwave it again. Let the residual heat just finish melting your chips. If it's not, then you can go ahead and do another 30 seconds. Wow, mine's pretty close, but I think I might do, this is my favorite microwave bowl. I'll link it in the description below. Okay, mine's super close, but I'm gonna go ahead and melt just a little bit more. We are going to give you our Dining on a Dime cookbook ebook volume number 1 free at livingonadime.com. Click on our shop, click on our ebooks, click on Dining on a Dime volume 1, add it to your cart. When you go to checkout, use the coupon code DINING1 and you will get our ebook absolutely free with no obligation and no strings attached. Visit us at livingonadime.com. All right, now we got everything melted together. Here's a little trick. I take a piece of parchment paper, 12 by 16, take it in half, and then it perfectly fits in an 8 by 8 or 9 by 9 pan, just like so, okay? All right, so then what I'm gonna do is, because I want the 3 colors, I am going to put a little bit for my orange, a little bit for my yellow. Let's see. Looks like the orange has the most, so we'll do the yellow first. Okay, that's weird. It says yellow, but it's coming out green. What color is it actually? Oh, okay. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Wow. I do not know what happened there. But putting in my yellow food coloring, it's going to be my first color, or my first layer. Now, if you want my original 2-ingredient fudge recipe, it's right here in my Dining on a Dime Volume 2. The complete recipe link is in the description below at my website, livingonadime.com. All right, so we're gonna put the first, I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more, just to make just a little bit thicker layer. There is no exact science to this. All right, we're gonna let this set up for just a minute in the fridge while I'm mixing my orange. Now for my orange, I've got some yellow. I don't know why I got blue out. And my red. my cute little fingernails. My viewer Laura sent that to me. Thank you, Laura. I'm gonna add some more red to make it more orangey. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes to let that set up. Now we're gonna put our orange. All right, we're gonna let this set up and then we are going to come back and do our white. Rewarmed my white. Just get it all stirred up and all in here. Okay. Now I'm going to put it all over. Okay, now I'm going to take my candy corns. All right, tell me who loves candy corns. I love candy corns. We're going to take the whole ones. Start putting hopefully one in each square of fudge. Push these in to make sure they get all of my fudge. I'm gonna put this in my refrigerator and let it set up. Oh, yum. I am making some fall bark. I have my white chips here that I'm going to melt first. All right, what I'm doing is I am letting it melt in 30-second increments and stirring in between so it doesn't burn. Now my bowl's pretty hot, so I'm gonna let the residual heat finish melting my chocolates to start. And then I will add more microwave time if I need to. Put the candies up against the heated wall here and let that heat it through. You want my original peppermint bark recipe? It's in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 2. This recipe is based off of that. Now I'm going to spread this all over. And now I'm going to take my chocolate. Man, do I need chocolate? You know what? I don't think I need chocolate. I think I'm gonna wait on chocolate for this one. I had it planned, but my plans changed. Okay, we're gonna smooth this out. Just however thick you like your bark. Now we're going to add some pretzels. Got to have that salty and sweet. Whoops. Then I found these cool autumn leaves. I was like, these are the most darn tootin' cool things I've seen. Then we're gonna take these pumpkin sprinkles. Now, if you want, you can put pumpkin pie spice in here if you want. That would be super yummy. Just put a half a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, however much you want. Okay, get my pumpkins that went to stray there. Let's make sure everything is all pushed down. Okay, all right, then we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it set up. Oh, that looks delicious. Making a 2-ingredient caramel fudge. Oh, yum. Got my white chocolate chips. The recipe is in the description below. Only used a half bag. Then I have no idea how you say the name of this, but it's basically sweetened condensed milk that's been caramelized. And we're gonna put that in my bowl along with the lid because it fell. Oh my goodness, I am caramel lover. I will eat caramel before I'll eat chocolate. I love caramel. Okay, we're gonna put this in the microwave and let it go for 30-second increments, stirring in between until it's melted. I have to say, I'm torn between making this all caramel or leaving the little white bits in there. I kind of like the look of the white bits. So if you like that look, you don't have to mix it all the way. All right, have my 8x8 pan lined with parchment paper, just to make it getting out easier. And I am going to spread this in my pan. Oh my goodness, this looks and smells so delicious. All right, we're gonna let this sit in the refrigerator and then we're gonna cut it. I'm making a caramel apple fudge. Oh my goodness, so delicious. My white chocolate chips. I don't know how you pronounce that, but this is the caramelized sweetened condensed milk. You can find it in the Mexican food aisle. Careful you don't cut your hand. This recipe is based off my 2-ingredient fudge in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, Volume 2. I have tons of variations in there. Okay, we're gonna microwave this in 30-second increments until it's melted. While that's melting, I've got my freeze-dried apples. And I'm gonna smash these up just a little bit. Not a ton. You don't want them to be powdered, just smaller chunks. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. I will take caramel over chocolate any day. I absolutely love caramel. Have my 8x8 pan lined with a half a piece of parchment paper. Okay, so now I'm gonna add about a half a package, about a half a package of freeze-dried apples and a few pecans. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love caramel apples. Okay, get that all mixed in. You kind of gotta work quick because it'll start setting up fairly quickly. You know what I'm gonna add? I'm gonna add some mini chocolate chips because I love chocolate dipped caramel apples. Yum. And this isn't near as much work as dipping caramel apples. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness, yum. Okay, I'm gonna push this in. Look at that, chocolate is swirling. Oh my goodness. I love this new combination already, and I haven't even tasted it because I know it's gonna taste good. I can just tell that it's gonna taste good. Oh my goodness. Yum. Wow. Okay, that looks good. Now you could decorate it with some fall sprinkles or with chocolate chips. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some Heath pieces and sprinkle it all over the top. Why? Because I can. All right. The ladies at the gym are gonna love this one. All right, gonna set this in the refrigerator and let it set up, and then we'll come back and cut it. Super fancy truffles. A viewer sent me this blonde chocolate, and as you can see, I have helped myself to some, and this is the most delicious chocolate I have ever eaten. I don't like chocolate as much as I like caramel, and this is white chocolate that has a little bit of a caramel taste to it. So I'm making some truffles. Now I've got my butter here, and I'm gonna add my blonde chocolate. That's way too much, don't need that much. And then a whipping cream. Now, this recipe is based off of my truffle recipe in my Dining on a Dime volume 1. I left the sugar out, and I'm doing it on the microwave instead of the stovetop, okay? All right, going to put this in the microwave and let it melt. All right. Actually, I had this butter left over. I think it was slightly more than 2 tablespoons, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and add the rest of the chocolate in there, just so my truffles aren't too thin. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine how delectable these are gonna be. Okay, gonna melt this. Oh, the one that sent me these adorable fall nails, aren't those cute? I just appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you so much. All right, got this melted. Oh, yum. All right, now I'm gonna take and put it in my pan. Okay, we're gonna stick this in the refrigerator and let it set up, and then we're gonna make our truffles. Pumpkin Cool Whip candy. Oh my goodness, this sounded too good to be true. All right, so 1 tub of Cool Whip. Now this is a double, so I'm just using half of this. Then my pumpkin puree, the recipe is in the description below. My pumpkin pie spice. Now, pumpkin pie spice is just cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg. Recipe is in the description below or in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. You can get on my 10 homemade spices page at livingonadime.com. Okay, now we're just mixing this all together. My first Cool Whip candy is one of my top videos. Thought that was pretty cool. Then I'm going to take my ice cream scoop and make little balls here. That's a little large. I think I'm gonna take my tiny scoop. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna try something else. Let's throw this in a piping bag. I think that would be a whole lot easier. Oh my goodness. That tastes just like pumpkin pie. Oh my goodness. Yum. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And put this in the freezer and let them set up, and then we are going to dip them. All right, my fudge has been sitting. I'm going to cut it. Oh, look at that. That is darn tootin' cool. Oops. I didn't get them very even. If you just want to get really persnickety, you can measure. I did not. And I'm sure that people will just be more than happy to tell me how much of a failure I am because of that, but that's okay. Okay. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is too cute. And if you get some that are just a little off, just cut that off and there's your piece. There we go. Oh my goodness. That is just too cute. All right, here is my caramel apple, chocolate covered caramel apple fudge. I absolutely love caramel apples. Oh my goodness. That is so darn tootin' delicious, it's not even funny. Yum. Got my caramel fudge. So I'm going to cut it into pieces. All right, I absolutely love caramel, so let me give this a try. Oh my goodness. That is caramel perfection. Not quite as good as caramel, but that is caramel perfection. Yum. All right, I've got my almond bark here. Just going to break this up into pieces. All right, there we go. Oh my goodness, that looks so delicious. All right, I got this cute little chocolate melter for my candy making this year at the thrift store for $1. So what I'm going to do is use this. I'm going to give it a try to melt my chocolate and see how it goes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let this melt and then we will be right back. All right, this did not turn out like I had anticipated. My butter separated and it's not very thick. So I took a little snitch and it's very tasty. But I think this chocolate must be made differently because it's really super hard. I can't really get a truffle. So I looked up the recipe for making truffles with this specific chocolate and it said to use more cream than I normally do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more cream here. There we go. And I'm gonna put this on top of a pan of boiling water and let it re-melt. And then we're gonna let it reset up again and see if we can get some truffles. Okay, there's my boiling water. I'm just gonna set the whole pan on there. So we'll see if this works. It tastes really good. So it is starting to melt. See if we can get it all warmed up and mixed in together. I wonder if it's because my butter had been previously melted. I really do not want to waste this chocolate, and I don't think it'll go to waste. I mean, even if it doesn't turn out like my truffles like I wanted to, it's still not going to go to waste because, oh my goodness, it's just so darn tootin' tasty. Okay, I'm going to turn off the heat now so it doesn't get too hot. All right, just keep stirring and stirring until it comes together. Looks like a big caramel. And then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down and see if we've got some truffles. All right, there we go. So it'll take about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to remelt that. Not very long. Okay, now it's all nice and smooth again. Let's put this in the fridge and see if we've got some caramel truffles, some blonde chocolate truffles is what I'm trying. Okay, my chocolate is all melted, but I want it a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna add some coconut oil just because it's an oil that sets up more solid. Now you could put shortening in here if you want, it doesn't matter, either one. Okay, and just let that thin down just a little bit. There, that's better. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna put it on warm and go get our candies. All right, these actually turned out super cute. Look at how cute those are. So, in my opinion, I would pipe them if I were you, okay? So here we go. Let's see, how should I do this? 1, 2, 3, I guess. Let's do it like this. All right, we're gonna go through and dip all these and then we will taste test. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is halfway through, you're gonna put these back in the fridge or freezer and let your chocolate remelt because the cold Cool Whip is cooling down my chocolate. So I've got it back on melt again, getting my chocolate remelted here. These are kind of a pain in the butt. I don't really like making these, if I'll be honest. They're cute, the ones that turn out, but okay, I'm gonna see what this tastes like. Okay, that is really tasty, but I think it's seizing up my chocolate, so I'm gonna see if it will let my chocolate melt. But oh my goodness, that is really good. That is darn tootin' good, actually. So they're kind of a pain in the butt, but man, they're yummy. It's like a little cloud of pumpkin. tastes like pumpkin, chocolate chip pumpkin bread. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see if I can get my chocolate remelted here and dip some more. We'll see. I'm gonna throw these in the freezer while I'm waiting. All right, before I roll my truffles, I've got my pecans here, and I am going to break them up a little bit more. All right, so now I'm gonna pour my nuts in a bowl. Okay, my little scoop is in the dishwasher, but I was testing to see if they would roll, and look at that. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna roll these in nuts. Now, I actually probably should have put on plastic gloves just because it seems like they're smoother, but this seems to be going okay. Now you could roll these in almonds or some cocoa powder, or coconut would be really yummy. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine how delicious these are. I did get a couple more out of this. I made them actually twice the size that I should have. But I love caramel. Okay. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely the smoothest chocolate I have ever eaten in my entire life. That is so delicious. Thank you so much, Laura. That's good. Okay, so these did not turn out at all like I had hoped. This is a test recipe, but they are super delicious. It tastes like chocolate chip pumpkin bread. Now I did add 2 more tablespoons of coconut oil in here, but what I would do instead is I would make these little puffs, freeze them, and then put them in your coffee. That would be super delicious. So I think I might make this recipe again and just make them into little puffs and freeze all the little puffs. And then when I want one for my coffee, which I don't drink coffee, but Mike's coffee, whoever's coffee, then I would just plop one of those in my coffee. I bet that would be really tasty. But, I mean, they're really yummy. They're just kind of a pain in the rear to make. Yum. Oh my gosh, it's just like eating a little chocolate chip pumpkin cloud. It is really delicious. I am making some whipped cream, whipped topping, little pumpkin clouds. Now, I have my pumpkin pie spice here, but it's just cinnamon, ginger, allspice, and cloves. The recipe is in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. Now I'm going to take all my spices, put them in my whipped topping, or if you want real whipped cream, you can just use real whipped cream if you want. Mix it all in. I forgot to get out my pumpkin. All right. Like, I know there's another ingredient in this. Okay, so I just came up with this from a failed recipe. Well, I wouldn't say it was failed. It was just not what I was expecting. And Look at that. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our piping bag and we're gonna put it in our piping bag just to make it all fancy schmancy. Now, you don't have to do a piping bag if you don't want to. You can just take and do blops like that if you want. Well, maybe you don't even need a piping bag. Let's see, can you just do blops? Oh yeah, blops would probably work. Well, I already got my piping bag going, so let's just continue on. I probably wouldn't waste time with a piping bag if I were you, but do what you want. Okay. Then I'm going to make some nice swirls, about however much you want for your coffee. Okay, the piping bag does make a nicer presentation. All right. Now we're going to throw these in the freezer and then I'll show you how we'd use them in our coffee. Okay, here they are already. Now you can't diddle around with this because they will melt, but just put them all in your freezer bag and then store them in the freezer. Let's see. Now, I'm a lazy cook, so probably what I would do is just leave it all mixed up in the Cool Whip container and it'll store in the fridge for a week, but put those in the freezer. I would take my coffee and there we go. Oh, yum.